Hello, my fellow movie geeks. Carrie from Cinema here, and I'm not alone. I have two very lovely guests with me to join in on the shenanigans. We have Shannon from Talking Star Wars down there,
Hello, everyone.
and we have M from the channel Horror Herd.
Hey,
How are you ladies doing today?
Good, yeah.
good.
I am peachy. You know, nobody says peachy, so I'm saying it.
I like it. It's different. It's unique. Crack on with it.
Hell yeah. But I think we know why we're here. We are doing a series called Villains or Victims. I conjured up this idea. I don't know where it came from, but I thought it was really cool to talk about characters that maybe their story's not so cut and dry or black and white. They have some layers like an onion, and I thought maybe we could peel back some of these layers.
I think it's going to be a very, very interesting conversation.
Definitely.
I'm
Especially
excited.
with some of these, yeah. But let's see who we have. And of course, we have Austin apparently making nuggets. What's up there? We have Davey. What's up?
Hey.
What's up?
Now, I'm guessing Chester's from your channel, M.
I believe so, yes. I thought that Chester was with everybody, but Chester's here. Hi, Chester.
Yeah, come on over to us. We have cookies and Kool-Aid.
We do.
We have Trey. What's up, Trey?
What's up, Trey?
Apparently, Chester's saying, hope you are doing well.
You too.
We have Steph. I don't think you're a villain. I think you just want to be a villain. You're just a cool lady, a cool chick.
I think everybody has a bit of villain in them.
Oh, hell yeah. Where there's a light, there's a dark. I mean,
True.
why do you think we like horror movies? It's because
Very
it
true.
appeases to our dark side. That's how I see it. But we have Dot.
Hello,
What is
Dot.
up, Dot? We have Heather.
Hey.
Happy Sunday.
Hey.
I keep forgetting that it's Sunday.
Me too.
Yay, cool chicks. Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so I think we got everyone for now. So, I'm taking this off because it's going to be in the way. We are going to be talking about the first episode, which is Women Scorned. Hell yeah. I just throw myself in there with Miss Jennifer.
Yeah.
I mean, if the opportunity arises, why not, hey?
I mean, she is one cool chick, in my opinion.
Exactly that.
But we're going to start with the first lady, which is Jennifer herself. I think I may have cut off the name a little bit, but I think we're going to be okay. So I'm going to give a little bit of a backstory, and then we're going to talk about her. Jennifer was just a typical beautiful high school mean girl. All she wanted to do was hang out with her bestie, Needy, at the local bar. She was dying to meet the oh-so-salty band, Low Shoulder. What she didn't know was they had their own ulterior motive for why they were there. Mistaking Jennifer to be a virgin, their ritual goes awry. Jennifer is brought back after being brutally murdered. She must feed in order to flourish, so when boys start going missing, she is soon suspected, and her own bestie must stop her. Given the circumstances, is she really the villain or is she a victim? Em, I'm going to start with you, and then we'll go Shannon, and then I will do my 2 cents at the end.
I mean, I think she was definitely put in a very unfortunate situation. she can't really be blamed for her actions in this instant, I don't think. I mean, obviously, she's tied up and killed and during this ritual, and she's obviously goes to a place that she didn't ask to go, basically. Obviously, there is that aspect of her murdering numerous people, well, boys, I guess, manipulating for food, and obviously she does show a little bit of remorse here and there. I think she's more of a victim than a villain, but the circumstances, you got to do what you've got to do to live, basically. In my humble opinion, I would probably do the same in her shoes. So, to be fair,
I agree. Shannon, what do you think?
I definitely think victim, sorry, just because of like the fact that like she seems that she was bullied into doing what she did. So yeah. Like taking revenge on the people that did it to her.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing is, did she really go after them though? Because it was actually Needy who ended up going after the band.
Yeah.
That is true.
And also, I love Jennifer. I think it is a really shitty thing that happened to her. She had no control over what happened whatsoever, so therefore her turning into a demon, feeding off of the flesh of boys, I do think is really messed up. But also, I saw some manipulation with her best friend, Needy. Like, she was going after guys that showed interest in her as well. So I think she is still a mean girl, and I think there's a little bit of a layer of a villain, but for the most part, I do think that she was a victim. I think she's kind of teetering on both sides of it, in my opinion.
Agreed. And she definitely uses the way that she looks to her advantage, I would say. Which, you know, if you look like her, you probably would. Let's all be honest. But she has this way, like you said, like a mean girl attitude. And it's that kind of attitude that, you know, you see every day in people. Does that make them a villain? Not necessarily, but it can make them a bit of a bitch. Excuse my language. So
no, go ahead. Say what you gotta say.
Heck yeah.
She definitely had some bitchy vibes. And I think that's what kind of made her play into the villain a little bit more, because she already had that mean girl mentality already as a human. So when she became the demon, I feel like it kind of amplified a little bit. And she was playing to that.
Agreed.
I agree.
So I think she's a little bit of both. I'm going to see what our peeps are saying. Oh, we have Shell.
I love Shell.
What's
Shell's my favorite.
I know, I love her. We're going to have to get her on one of these episodes too. I think that would be really fun.
Shell's the best. Like, she can literally just talk about everything and anything in so much detail. I love her.
Good. That's what I like.
This is not the I Love Shell stream, so I shall shut up.
That's okay. She's not a victim or a villain. She's just awesome.
Heck yeah.
Hey, DJ.
Hey. Good DJ. That's good DJ.
I knew you wanted to say that. We have Gina.
Hey, Gina.
Hello,
what
Gina.
Is up? Snugs to Ziggy Meister.
Yeah.
Hell yes, she is. She is an epic badass biatch. I definitely agree. We also have Erica.
Hey.
Hello,
what
Erica.
Is up? And she's saying, how are we doing? We are doing lovely.
Fine and dandy.
I am going victim after the murder. She turns into a succubus and really can't be held accountable for all her actions. Her bodily autonomy was taken from her and was just trying to survive. I like that. I like that angle.
That's a great angle.
Yeah, I love that. And she could have been a little nicer as a human girl. Her and Regina George are competing for Queen Bee Mean Girl. They probably would have been besties.
I agree.
I definitely
That's something
think
I'd
so.
like to see, actually. That would have been a really fun thing to see back in the
Or
day.
they would fight. They might actually fight. So
Be
I don't
rivals.
know. So the next girl we're going to be talking about, of course, Carrie.
Yeah.
Why not? Carrie is viewed as the shy girl, the outcast who has an overbearing mother. She's just trying to get through high school like everyone else, but the mean girls just want to bully this poor girl. Carrie holds a power that she didn't even know she had, and when she is pushed over the edge, those powers intensify. Everyone in her life is out to get her, even her own mother. Overly protective, overly religious, it causes Carrie to break. When prom approaches, just like every other girl, she is excited. When the boy of her dreams asks her to the prom, she thinks her dreams are coming true, but they end up crashing down on her just like the pig's blood. The humiliation alone, everyone laughing at her, it strikes a match of rage inside of her, so she exacts revenge. Knowing the circumstances, would you say Carrie is a villain or is she a victim? You have the floor.
So for me, Carrie is 100% a victim. So she goes through what a lot of people, even myself included, go through in school. It's extreme bullying, and it's that place of wanting to fit in and not being able to fit in. But on the side of that, she also has these new powers that she's realizing she has, a very toxic home life, and I think she's just doesn't fit in anywhere at all. So when this whole episode happens with at the prom with the pig's blood, and she does essentially end up killing a lot of people, I don't actually personally think she actually knew how strong her powers were and what she was doing. So it's an unfortunate circumstance and something that, she, yes, did, but I genuinely do think that it was just something that was completely out of her control. And she shows remorse afterwards, which is something you don't see in a villain. A villain will never show that remorse. They will go on like nothing happened. Obviously, we all know what happens at the end. And she just completely shows this remorse, and you actually end up feeling so sorry for her that you kind of want to mother her at the end of it all. So for me, she's definitely a victim. There's nothing villain about her in my eyes.
What about you, Shannon?
I agree 100% with what Em said, especially with what all those bullies did to her. The pig's blood at prom, laughed at her when she had her woman thing, let's just say, and everything else. All these horrible pranks, and even the teacher or whatever, like she was in on the pranks and took their side when Carrie was going through everything.
I think you both have pretty much nailed it on the head. I don't view Carrie as a villain in any shape, way, or form. I think that everything was building up slowly and slowly like a boiling pot. It was about to burst, and she didn't know the strength of her own powers, and it ended up exploding, and she had no control whatsoever. That's how I think that she no control at all, no willpower. The pig's blood was what broke the camel's back.
Agreed. I think if people had have just shown her a bit of understanding and nurturing, like obviously her mom really wasn't a nurturing person at all, very religious and very pushy on her beliefs, which were actually very corrupted. If she had have had that nurturing side to her mom, maybe even if she had these powers, she would not have ended up being as careless, I guess, as she was, and as not in control as she was. I think that could have gone a long way for her.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think that the whole mother angle definitely took a toll on her because she wasn't shown love anywhere. She was literally at home, not feeling safe. Then she would go to school, not feeling safe. She didn't have any safe space whatsoever, and no one was showing her any positive energy or love. Like everyone was just picking on her, and I mean, I think anybody would have a breaking point at that point, in my opinion.
I agree.
Let's see what our poops have to say. Yeah, Gina definitely agrees. Carrie is rejected and ridiculed by the religious and secular worlds. Everyone is a shit to Carrie. Yes. Yes, they are. Carrie was bullied by classmates, which made her feel sad. Definitely so. And thank you, Davy. And that's very sweet of you, Erica. Thank you. We're actually all streaming, so if you want to leave a like everywhere, you go right ahead.
It's Carrie's stream. We're just sharing the love.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to. Okay. I love playing devil's advocate, but even I can't do that here. Carrie is definitely the victim. That is for sure. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone's. People fucked around.
Exactly.
I love the way that she said that.
I mean, I personally would love to get revenge on some people from every step in my life. I'm a Scorpio, so I hold grudges anyway. But you know, she actually did it. She did what everybody who's been bullied or who has been in an unfortunate situation with people wants to do. So good on her. I mean,
yeah, I mean, they kind of asked for it, so
they did.
She just constantly, like, she wasn't doing anything to them. Like, she wouldn't lash out. She took it and took it and took it and took it. And like anybody would, I mean, you have a breaking point. Everyone has an edge, and whenever you step across it, something's bound to happen. And the fact that she had powers, that just amplified it. All right, without further ado, we're going to the next. All right, we are going to talk about our girl Pearl. This one's a more interesting character, I would say.
1000%.
Pearl is a dreamer, a big dreamer. She's a farm girl longing for a perfect escape from her doll life. She dreams of stardom, and if you dare take that away from her, well, you won't live to see what happens next. Just like everyone, we all have aspirations, and just like Carrie, Pearl's mother got in the way of what she wanted out of life. She wanted to be a star. With stars in her eyes and a pep in her step, she learns from the movies she sneaks out to go see. When everything starts to unravel, so does Pearl. It all slips away from her grasp, and that's when the murderous rage comes into play. It's silent at first and lurks within her, waiting to just burst out. When her dreams are just crushed before her very eyes, she has nothing left but her absent husband, Howard, who comes back from the war to discover his wife has a very dark side. Knowing Pearl's circumstances, would you say she's a villain, or is she a victim? You've got it. Take it away.
So, okay, this movie, it's one of those I was just like, what the actual heck? There's a part of Pearl that is very, in my eyes, whatever happened to Baby Jane. She's very similar because of the things that she goes through with, you know, she doesn't really have that loving side of her family. She has these dreams which are sort of rejected in one way or the other, and she's very clearly not mentally stable. I think that's from the get-go, you can see that. I mean, within the first couple of minutes of the movie she kills an animal. Like, it's just like the most bizarre freaking thing you'll ever see, because she's got this really happy persona. She just comes across as very narcissistic, however, and I think due to the fact that she will not go far from anything like, she won't stop and doing what she's doing to get to her goal, like murdering people and showing very psychopathic behavior, literally, excuse my language, molesting a flipping scarecrow, for crying out loud. It's just so, she's so messed up. But I do think that there's a bit of a letdown with the mental illness, because that's very clear in her and nobody ever addresses that. But she, at the end of the day, goes through things that everybody goes through in their life. Everybody gets rejected at some point. You know, everybody feels like they're not loved as much as they could be. Everybody has problems with their parents being overly strict at times, their dreams basically being destroyed. To me, I do think she's pretty much a villain, because she doesn't really show that side of her where she regrets doing what she's doing. It's all very manipulation, very narcissistic, and just very unhinged. Obviously, circumstances could have made her better, but for me, I think she's a really great villain.
Shannon?
I agree 100% villain. Like, she did not show like any remorse. She did not like apologize for anything. Like, I'm sorry, or even like shed emotion. Like, you did not see her like crying. Like, she just like did like what, an evil laugh or something after she was killing a bunch of the people. So yeah,
I definitely think that Pearl is 100% a villain, and I feel like everything that built up in her, like, throughout the movie, I think she just really wanted a reason to just snap. And when she's dreaming, she's daydreaming, this whimsical Wizard of Oz kind of Technicolor, daydream. She's wanting to be a star, trying to find a way to escape. She's thinking about cheating on her husband, which she actually does, and then she ends up killing the guy. She literally just tries to find reasons for her to be psychotic. And I think she's aware of it too, because when you think about the dialogue that she says, which, by the way, best dialogue, she freaking nails it. Mia Goth, you rock. She kills it. That dialogue just shows how self-aware she is, and she knows that she's not a good person. She even says that, I'm not a good person. So she knows what she's doing, but she does it anyway because she's a psycho and she gets off on it. And she just wanted reasons to be able to get to that breaking point. So I 100% believe that she is definitely a villain. A great villain, I will say. She is a great villain, for sure. But the woman be crazy. Like, all the marbles are not, rolling around properly up there.
I think she lost them long time ago, if she ever had them.
I don't think she did.
No.
I think and you mentioned that she killed the animal in the beginning. That's a literal red flag sign of a serial killer, because they end up starting off with killing animals, and then they go to bigger things, and then they start killing humans. So it's literally showing you that she's building up to become a serial killer. She's a psycho.
1000% psycho. Just not right at all.
I even compared her to Norman Bates in a short that I made like years ago.
Yes, I can see that.
My mind was blown. I'm like, wow, they actually could be, if they got together, it might be like Bonnie and Clyde or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be bad. But Steph is saying I can hear Pearl yelling at dude in the barn. And yes, she is absolutely a villain. Pearl is the best one out of the three movies. Love the backstory of the character. Yep, it's literally her origin story, in my opinion, and she is Whew, she's a doozy. I have only seen Pearl once. I need to give it a rewatch, but from memory, I think she is a villain. An unhinged but entertaining villain. Entertaining is correct. That is for sure. Chester thinks that she's a villain. Just needing better coping mechanisms. That's a good way of looking at it. Yep, definitely a villain. Hey Shay, what is up? She's looking for an excuse. She knows she's crazy and she gives in. Oh, she definitely gives in. She was mentally unstable and had no support system. She definitely did not have a support system, but I don't know if that would necessarily take you that far into being that crazy. I feel like she was kind of born with it, in my opinion. I think it was like slowly growing, kind of like a messed up psychotic butterfly in a cocoon, ready to come out. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. She's bonkers.
She's absolutely off her kids. Anyway, we're moving on to Nikki. Oh, this one's going to be fun to talk about.
Great movie and character.
Oh, hell yeah. Nikki just radiates the cool chick that everyone loves. She just fills the room with her chill vibes. A free spirit just trying to navigate her way through life. She was a writer who desired to write one hell of a love story, not a romance, a love story. But sadly, her own love story turned into an absolute nightmare. All because a boy had a crush on her and didn't know how to just spill his guts and tell her. He threw free will out the window and stole it from Nikki. Bear makes a wish to make Nikki fall in love with him. When she can't even control her own body, she resorts to anything to get that control back. It leads to tragedy and only her left standing. A slave in her own body, she was trapped and forced to love someone she viewed as a brother. Of course that was weird for her. So knowing Nikki's circumstances, would you say she's a villain or a victim? Go right ahead, Em. I know you're dying to talk about it.
I am. So I watched this movie yesterday and oh my gosh, best movie of 2026. And I just want to say how fantastic that actress is, because she played both the innocent, cool chick role and the absolute psychotic, obsessed ex-girlfriend almost mode very, very well. 1000% she is a victim. So Bear obviously is a little pansy-ass mama's boy, as some would say, and just did not want to tell her how he felt because he was scared of the rejection and probably deep down knew that she did not like him the same way. So he completely took her free will away from her by making that wish. Okay, he didn't know that that was actually going to happen, but why would you risk it if you've got something like that in your hands? She's, like you said, like a prisoner in her own body. And I think from my interpretation, it's actually something else that takes over her, like a weird sort of, because she mentions when she's sleeping, like, oh, it's asleep or she's asleep, like kill me kind of thing. So her true self was coming through in parts, referring to something else being inside of her body. I think the way that it was done, I mean, even down to him having sex with her, which was kind of uncomfortable to watch. It's like, dude, you know she's not right. You know that there's something going on. You know that that wish has worked, and yet you're still choosing to now degrade her even further. That, like, the real victim actually ended up being Bear when you look at it. I did not feel sorry for him one bit. But Nikki, you kind of feel sorry for every single step of the way because it was completely out of her control and not her choice. I will shut up now and let other people talk. But yeah, I love it.
No, we're like cheerleading. Like I see us both going, yeah.
Yeah.
So we agree with you like 1,000,000%.
It was like domestic violence in a way. It was really like hard to watch in some places.
Oh my god, yes. What about you, Shannon?
I agree that I think Nikki is the victim and Bear is definitely one of the villains. Like he should have asked the Willow shop owner, like, furthermore, like, can you take it back if anything happened, like the wish? And maybe even like looked up online like any reviews about like any of the negative effects on the wish. Or like reviews in general on the wish before breaking it off. But yeah, definitely a victim for her.
So, in my opinion, because I've watched this maybe probably like 5 times now, I have noticed little things like throughout every rewatch, and there's like a couple of things that I feel like the real Nikki is like she's coming out a little bit and she's doing deliberate things to get back at him. Like especially that party scene when she does the poem, the Hansel and Gretel. I'm sorry, but to me 1,000,000%, that's her trying to tell him that I view you as a brother and you're violating me.
I agree.
And then when she's like hitting herself with the bottle, she's self-harming because she just wants to break out. She wants to be free from her own body, which is insane, but also really sad because she has no control and she's trying to get this entity out of her, but she can't. Like she has no choice whatsoever but to literally stay dormant and just watch this entity use her body, and Bear is violating and degrading her. So I 1,000,000% definitely think that Nikki is in fact a victim.
And at the same time, whilst he's doing that and everybody's wondering what's up with Nikki, he's letting her take the blame for everything. Letting that it's again, it's like a it's sort of some sort of domestic abuse. I had an ex-partner who's very much the same way. She's very made me out to be the crazy one when she was pushing every single button and doing everything that she could to, you know, get me to react in certain ways, and then would make it out like I was the bad person because I reacted to her actions. And this is exactly what he's doing, is he's making it out like, yeah, okay, she can take the blame for it, because even if she comes back to being herself, people are just going to think it's her and I'm the innocent one. And I hate that. I hate him. I think he's a horrible character. And it's that one scene as well when he's on the phone and he's saying, I want to cancel my wish. And then they're like, do you want to speak to her? And you can hear her screaming down. I'm like, dude, like if you're a decent human being, he's told you as long as you're alive, she will be the way that she is. If that was me, I'd just go and end it, because I couldn't live with that guilt that I've made somebody that way and trapped somebody. So that just shows his intentions fully.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what about the part where she's sleeping and she's saying, can you please kill me? And he's like, what's so bad about being with me? I hate that line. Like it angers me to no end, because the fact that you have a human being that's literally telling you to end it for her because she's miserable, she's feeling like a prisoner, and you don't even care. You're just asking her, why is it so bad to be with me? It wasn't meant to be. She obviously, because you can tell in the car when they're talking, she gets grossed out whenever he tells her that he got her a present. Because she's like, ew, no, don't do. And he's like, well, that's a weird way to respond to a gift. I mean, we don't know how their dynamic was before the movie. So he could have been like this weird stalker guy and we would never know that.
It's true.
It makes me think like how he was before the actual movie, because they're just showing up into that story. But in my opinion, I think that he's a creeper, and he always was a creeper.
Well, yeah, completely. And he even down to him calling her Freaky Nikki, and she's like, don't call me that. And he knows not to call her that, and yet he continues to call her that. It just shows he doesn't have that respect for her. He likes the way she looks. likes the way she acts because she's a nice person, but wants all of that for himself. It's pretty sick.
They're not even compatible. Like, in the very least, they're not compatible. Like, she's making fun of him in the bar for having the pina colada. She's like, that's so feminine. Like, you're showing your feminine side. Like, she's like pokey fun because she views him like a brother, not as a lover, not as a potential hookup. I think she's actually kind of disgusted by him a little bit. Because the fact that she asks him, do you like me? And whenever he says, no, I just view you as a friend, like, she looked relieved.
Yes, I agree.
So, I mean, it's all, like, all the signs are there showing that she had no interest in him romantically.
I'm sorry, I will just point out one more thing, and then I will leave it. I'm just getting very, like, I love this. So at the end, like, he only takes the overdose because it's getting far too overbearing, because 2 people are now dead, and it's going to come back on him and her, basically. That he then decides to do what he did, knowing that that's going to free her and leave her in the mess of everybody's dead and you're the person who's done this. So again, it just shows he does not care for her.
Not at all. I'm just seeing if anyone has any good. Oh, hell yeah. I don't know about Ian as much. Like, I think Ian just saw Nikki as a hookup and he was thinking, oh, rats, I don't have my hookup anymore. That's what I think.
Ian's a jerk, but you know, I mean, I probably would have wished for $1 billion as well. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I'm not too sure if I see him fully as a villain. He's a manipulator, but I don't know if he's a villain.
Yeah, I don't see him as a villain. I just think I don't even think he's like that complex. I think that he's just literally the cool side character dude that just wanted his hookup, and whenever he thought that he wasn't going to have it anymore, he got a little butthurt, and that's about it. All right, we're going to go on to now this one. This one's going to be one-sided, but I still think that she has a great story, and I still think she's worth talking about. Miss Annie Wilkes.
Oh, God.
That photo. I love it.
I know, I chose that one deliberately.
That's brilliant.
Out in the middle of nowhere, in seclusion, lives a woman that goes by the name Annie Wilkes. She spends her downtime romanticizing with her books, but these aren't your ordinary books. These books are written by the brilliant Paul Sheldon. He writes the infamous Misery series that everyone seems to love in this universe. On a snowy afternoon, a storm is brewing, and Paul has just finished his book. He is on his merry way, driving on these icy roads, and he swerves off, crashing into the bank. Of course, Annie was following close behind and gets her golden opportunity to save the Paul Sheldon himself. She used to be a nurse, so she has all of the supplies and knowledge to help him recover from his fatal injuries. But does she really want him to recover? She has the one man that she is obsessed with, all to herself. Why would she let him get away? Given these circumstances, would you say Annie is a villain or a victim? Take it away.
Victim 100% no. She is completely gaga. She is like the female version of Bear, just on a bit of a different level without all of the magic. She's completely a villain. Like, I'm sorry. She just seems like a very troubled person. But it's not just everything with Paul. It is, you learn that she's had a past where she was accused of killing, and you see it all in the newspaper clips, that you know that this behavior for her is quite normal. Clearly she doesn't show any signs of not wanting to be like that, because she's continuing with this behavior and seriously injuring somebody. Great actress. Absolutely love Kathy Bates in that role. But yeah, 1000% a victim. Villain for me. Not a victim.
I know we all want to say victim so badly, but go ahead, Shannon.
Definitely a villain. I mean, like Em said, we saw the newspaper clippings about her potentially or whatever killing like innocent babies or whatever in a hospital, and like all the torture that she put through Paul and perhaps others. Maybe, I mean, her character is a doctor or a nurse, so it's like, who knows if he wasn't the only one there prior. Like there could have been like more people that she was like addicted to or had an obsession with, and then
So my girl Annie. As much as I do love her, I do feel like she has, as she reads these books, I feel like she has romanticized this whole fantasy in her head, thinking that, oh, I'm going to be able to be with Paul Sheldon. I'll get him to rewrite this book. I'll get him to do whatever I want. And it doesn't really go the way that she intends, but she does find a way. She is crafty. She finds a way to make him stay a little bit longer. Given the hobbling, is it hobble? I think it's called hobbling. But that is one of the most gruesome scenes, and I freaking love it though, because I don't know about you guys, but every time I see it, I cringe.
Yeah.
But she is one disturbed lady. She definitely has the history of doing disturbed things. And why she is not being watched or supervised is beyond me. I don't know why this woman is in seclusion by herself, because this means that she can do whatever the hell she wants, which she does, and all hell breaks loose.
She also, when she gets found out, she ends up killing the person who found her out to be, doing what she's doing. So that just shows she doesn't actually care about her actions. She cares about her feelings. Mm-hmm. And that's very narcissistic. She
wanted to keep the fantasy going.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is all that it was for her. Yep. So, yeah, I definitely think that she's a villain.
Some of these comments are hilarious.
Hey, Jamie.
Hello, Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
I don't think they're related. I was thinking that whenever I did see her last name. I was like, oh my god, are they actually related?
You never know.
Yes, she is a great villain.
Yep.
She's nuts. Yep. She's a little off her rocker, that's for sure. There we go. Oh, Annie. I love your passion and fandom, but you are a villain, not cold to murder your patients or hobble an innocent man. Love that.
Yeah.
I think Annie made Paul crash so she could kidnap him. I don't know.
It was a snowstorm, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a snowstorm. But I do believe that she was following him, and I think she probably does it every single time that he writes a book, because she knows like his every move.
Yeah.
So I think she was literally waiting for some kind of opportunity. I don't know what she was hoping for, but she got her wish, but it just didn't go the way she wanted it to.
Yeah.
Sum it up, she's a fucked up wacko killing babies at the hospital. And this. Yeah. She's a dirty bird. She is a complete villain. Imagine if it existed in the digital age that. I mean, she probably would be blowing up.
Yeah.
Blow
Should
it
be
up
blowing
the
up his
DMs.
inbox more than I blow up Charles' phone, so that's quite worrying.
A little bit, yeah. All right, on to the next. This one, I feel, is very, very complex. Because I feel like a lot of people view her one way, but I feel like there are other components that can reveal that maybe, just maybe, she could be a little bit of both. But that's just me. Anyway, we're going to go to her little story. Juno hides a secret from her friend Sarah. She was having an affair with her husband. She's definitely guilty of being a horrible friend in that aspect. When Sarah loses her husband and her daughter in a tragic car accident, Juno feels compelled to reconnect with Sarah. She gets the old gang together to go cave diving. Thinking it would be a perfect distraction for Sarah, Juno invites her, maybe out of guilt or maybe out of genuine love. What the friends don't know is Juno found a cave that no one has set foot in, and there's a reason the cave is off the maps. The cave has a very dark secret. What dwells in this cave are flesh-eating creatures. Humans that have evolved, that have adapted to the darkness and the depth. Her friends are hunted by these creatures, and it's down to Sarah and Juno. Knowing the circumstances, would you say Juno is a villain, or is she a victim? Em, what do you think?
So I actually can't stand this movie, which is a very unpopular opinion, I do know.
My heart. No.
I know, I'm so sorry. Davey feels the exact same. But with this specific character, this is the first one I'm going to say is in between. She makes conscious decisions that she knows are not the right decisions. Like, you know, she does basically have an affair with somebody's husband. She betrays everybody. She kind of like accidentally kills a friend, but then just like basically leaves her to flip and die. And I'm like, that to me, yeah, it shows a very bitchy person, but it also shows a person who doesn't really care. And for me, that is very villainy attributes and personalities. But I don't think she qualifies fully as a villain, because she's not trying to do these things with, you know, malicious intent. It's just selfishness, which can't really make you a villain. It can just make you a bit of a twat of a person, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're, you know, Freddy Krueger level villain. So she's in between for me personally.
I like that answer. Shannon, what do you have to say? Because I know we just watched this movie.
I think it's in between as well. Like there's a mixture of both the villain and the victim. Like you said, like she brings them to a cave in the middle of nowhere that's not on the map, and like leaves that Beth or the other friend to die, and the betrayal of the married affair. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm like an in between, like villain or non-villain. Yeah.
I probably have a very unpopular opinion, but I love Juno. I don't know what it is about her. To me, like every time I watch this movie, I always think, okay, I understand Sarah. I understand where she's coming from, but why did they make her so whiny? There are times where I'm like, dude, this girl's a badass. But then there's other times where she just seems so fragile and so delicate. And Juno just has this strength about her that she just, I don't know, she's very solid to me. And yes, she does make some really poor decisions. We don't know the whole story about the affair. We don't know who initiated it. We don't know how Sarah and Paul's marriage actually was, so we don't know the whole thing. I just feel like all of the odds are stacked against Juno, making her seem like she is the villain. And also with the Beth thing, she was literally fighting with one of the creatures because she was trying to get her other friend away because she didn't want the creatures to take the body. So she's like, adrenaline is on high, like at 1,000,000. And she's still trying to, like, come down from that. And then Beth comes behind her and she's thinking it's another creature. So she unfortunately attacks Beth. And yes, she does leave her there, but I feel like it's more so out of shock because she doesn't know what to do. And I think she just runs because she doesn't know how to handle the situation. But she does lie about it to Sarah, which kind of also shows jerky. So I feel like she's like split right in the middle of a villain and a victim, because she does villainous things, but she also is a victim as well because all of the odds are stacked against her and she doesn't get to tell her own story. I feel like it's told through either Beth saying, oh my God, she did this to me. And it's also told through Sarah, even though Sarah doesn't technically know the whole story either. Because she does the same thing to her. Like, she literally, at the very end, she attacks Juno with the pickaxe and then leaves her there. That's an asshole thing to do as well. So, I mean, she's not any better than Juno. If I have to say that, I'm sorry. But I'm cheerleading for my girl Juno here.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like she's a little bit of both. She's a victim and she's a villain.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to, like, skim through some of these because we do have quite a couple more to go through here. Hey, Nightmare. What's a dip? I'm trying to see if I can find any.
I would say, though, in real life, if somebody cheated, or if like my partner cheated on me with somebody, I would see that somebody as a villain in my life, but I'd also see my partner as a villain in my life as well. But yeah, there is that. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud.
Well, think of it this way. I feel like because Paul died in the car accident, he's null and void because he's gone. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be seen as just as the husband that died in a tragic car accident. Mm-hmm. Juno's still alive, so she's the one taking all the blunt of the weight of what happened. So I feel like Sarah would have been more angry with Paul if Paul were still alive, but Juno is still alive, so she's the one getting the blunt of it, which is kind of not fair, but that's just how I feel. Because I feel like Juno and Sarah could have talked it through and they could have rekindled their friendship, whereas she probably would have divorced Paul.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I'm thinking about it too much.
I love it.
And what is he saying? Onus? What does that mean? Is on the husband and Juno, but Juno is the one that is. See, that's what I was talking about. And at no point does she offer any truth, which is true. She doesn't admit it to Sarah, and she lies about the cave to everyone. I think that was an ego trip, in my opinion, because of the fact that she didn't tell anyone what cave it was. I think it was just her ego was just so huge that she didn't expect, obviously, her friends to die, but she shouldn't have kept it a secret. She should have definitely told them, which definitely, yeah.
Yep.
She doesn't really have much respect.
Yeah. It's funny. All right, we're going to Tiffany.
Love her.
Yes, she is freaking awesome. This is actually my favorite. I love Bride of Chucky.
It is a good movie.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun. Tiffany, I see her as a wild flame, a free spirit who seeks adventure. She surrounds herself with a crazy crowd, and that's what attracted her to Charles Lee Ray. He was the bad boy that excited her. She never had to hide her true self when she was with him, almost like a Bonnie and Clyde. Tiffany longs to be Chucky's ride or die. When Charles is gone from this mortal world, Tiffany wants him back, so she decides to bring him back with a voodoo spell. When she finds out that Chucky never wanted to marry her, she regrets her decision. But Chucky lashes out, kills her, and transfers her soul into a doll as well. Now she is stuck with him. In order to escape the doll bodies, they find a couple they believe to be perfect for their devilish souls. A match made in hell, these two. Knowing Tiffany's circumstances, would you say she is a villain or is she a victim?
Okay.
Go right ahead.
So I actually love Tiffany. I think she is an incredible character, and I think that mainly is because of Jennifer Tilly. I think if anybody else played her, it wouldn't be the same at all. So it is all down to her. So there's two ways that you can look at it. I do have my own opinion on what she is, but the first way that you can look at it is she could be a victim because she's manipulated by Chucky. She's, she's quite often belittled by him in a way. And therefore, that is something that's quite emotionally manipulative, emotionally abusive. And there is that side of her where you're like, when you look at it that way, she could quite possibly be a victim. Her whole life is basically her love for Chucky. It's not about anything but that. But she has this side to her that is very villainous. And for me, she is a villain because she commits multiple murders without even second guessing herself. She enjoys the killing. She does it because she wants to impress Chucky quite a lot. And that itself is quite sadistic because you're seeking approval from somebody that you don't care if you hurt 10 million people along the way, as long as this one person looks at you the way that you look at them. She kind of encourages the violence. She helps Chucky with his aim of murdering. And to me, that just says that, yes, she is a villain. There are the themes of that toxicity in a relationship and love, and that really does shine through. But in the way that it does definitely make her somebody you wouldn't want to meet in a back alley because she wouldn't give two flying craps. That's
true.
my piece.
Shannon, what do you think?
Definitely villain. I mean, she kills for love, probably proves to Chucky that they can be together by killing innocent people. But yeah.
I feel like Chucky and Tiffany are kind of like peanut butter and jelly. They go together and they kind of amp each other up. They kind of build each other and influence each other. And I think when they are together, that's when dangerous shit happens. I feel like if she's on her own, maybe she wouldn't do as much, wreak as much havoc as she would if she were with Chucky, but I feel like she wants to be with him, so therefore I do feel like she is a villain because she does in fact enjoy wreaking that havoc. So yeah, I definitely think she's a villain.
I actually have her one and only love right here next to me. So
I love it.
He was watching Harry Potter this morning and I haven't put him back. But yeah, I agree with what you said. She's one of my favorite female villains though. I love her.
Oh, I absolutely adore her. And I agree with you when you said that Jennifer Tilly, she just brings this character to life. Like, I really don't think anybody else could really pull off that spice that Jennifer Tilly brings to it. I don't think anyone else could touch that.
And can we just take a moment to appreciate how freaking beautiful she is? And she's in her 60s and she's still looking amazing and just playing this part so bloody well. I'm like, damn, that is crazy. She's just phenomenal. I love her.
Yeah, she rocks it. She looks incredible. And I love her with blonde hair.
Same. I think it suits her more.
I think I love the black hair on her too, but I do feel like it drowns her out a little bit.
Agreed.
Aw. Well, looky there. Showing a little love. Great stream. Thank you, Ghosty. Hello,
Yeah,
by the way. Sorry we didn't properly say hello to you. We got a little excited about some of these topics.
And then there's me
and
just
Gina
rambling
just
on.
celebrated her 10-month anniversary as well. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. Let me see if I can go back. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Booyah.
Heck
No
yeah.
snuggles from Ziggy Pup. Aww.
Everybody
Oh,
loves a
if you
good Ziggy
don't.
Pub.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you
of
don't.
course.
Yeah.
Gotta love the Zigster.
Yeah.
And Steph agrees.
She is.
She is absolutely gorgeous. And I agree. She is incredible.
Yep.
Right. On to the next. I think we're all going to love to talk about this woman. She is Miss Pamela Voorhees. She is a woman. Okay. Not necessarily Mother of the Year, but she does seek revenge when her baby boy Jason is wronged by a bunch of horned up camp counselors. Pamela Voorhees is a terrific serial killer, as Randy would say. Grief can make you do crazy things, and this definitely takes the cake. Stalking the teens at Camp Crystal Lake, Mrs. Voorhees bumps them off one by one. She's not your typical sweet lady that she wants these teens to believe her to be. Oh, no. This is a mother with a motive that is so macabre, you can't help but be afraid of every Friday, every 13th. A psychotic break that leads to a bloodbath and a spooky campfire story told by future campgoers. She has become the mother, the myth, the legend. And when you hear that certain sound, you better be aware of your surroundings, or else you just might be her next victim. Knowing Pamela's circumstances, would you say she is the villain or a victim? That one was too fun to do, but anyway.
This is a movie I don't like. I think it's the worst one in the entire franchise. I'm sorry, you can shoot me later. I will definitely take that. However, okay. I actually really love Mrs. Voorhees. The only issue I have is that she wasn't in it before the reveal, because I think that would have made the character even more interesting. And we probably would have seen a nicer side to her, as she does come across as very nice when Alice first meets her. She's completely a villain, though. Like, I get it. She has gone through traumatic things, losing her son, if that's the way you look at it. Having all of this crap happen to her, and obviously there's a lot more to it. She's definitely not mentally stable, but to kill innocent people who had nothing to do with your son's incident is just completely messed up. And I think that the way that she went about grieving is completely off the rails, that you can only go that way if you've got that in you anyway. So I wouldn't actually be surprised if in her past she had killed people before, because she seems to be very good at it, very composed in herself, that I'm actually quite excited to see the TV show, because I think it could possibly explain more into this character, who is a very fun character for me to watch. But I do think, unfortunately, she is 1,000% a villain for me.
Shannon?
1,000,000% a villain. Then again, I don't understand. Nobody from the 1980s, those two counselors at the beginning, for example, they did not have nothing. Kevin Bacon's character in them did not have nothing to do with Jason's drownings. But I do understand they're going after the two counselors at the beginning who were having fun. Let's just say, well, Jason was drowning. And yes, I cannot wait for the TV series as well, to see Linda Cardellini's performance and everything as Pamela.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
I also believe that Mrs. Voorhees is definitely 1,000,000% a villain. Because I feel like maybe she had this psychotic break just welling up in her, and she was waiting for something to just allow those well waters to just burst out of the gates, and just she found her calling, because technically they said that Jason didn't actually die.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say that he drowned, but obviously he did not. And I think that, like mother, like son, they're just a crazy family, and I think it was welling up in her for quite some time. I think she just wanted a reason to really start killing people and stalk them.
Agreed. And when she's like, kill him, mommy, and it's like, oh, it's just like so like, she's just completely
Yeah.
that it's just like, yeah, it's not, she's a messed up character for sure.
Yeah, she was waiting for a time to just unleash that the looniness, that is for sure. Just wait until the Crystal Lake show on Peacock. I'm really excited about that. Hell yeah, we want some more story. Give us more backstory.
Yes.
I want more Mrs. Voorhees. I love
Yep.
Betsy Palmer. I think she did an incredible job. Like Em said, I do wish that we did get to see her more before the reveal, because it does kind of suck that we only see her like the third act, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have minded seeing more. And I think her and Mrs. Loomis, they should go bowling, because I think they would get along famously.
Yeah.
I love Mrs. Loomis.
I do too. Her and her crazy eyes.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to say I love Mrs. Loomis. All right, on to the next. We are going to be talking about Reagan. This one's going to be fun. Reagan just appears to be your typical 12-year-old girl, right? Well, she harbors a dark secret. Discovering a Ouija board in the attic of her new home, she only wanted to talk to her imaginary friend, Captain Howdy. Only, he wasn't really a friend. He was a demon trying to inhabit her body. This demon succeeds in his quest, and that's when all hell breaks loose, figuratively and literally. Especially for Reagan's mother, Chris, who sees the changes in her daughter. When Reagan's behavior turns violent and all signs point to something sinister, she turns to a priest for help. Father Damien comes to the house, not knowing what lurks and awaits him. As the true identity is revealed to Father Damien, he seeks help from another priest. As they perform the exorcism, it does save the innocent girl, but it also takes Father Damien with it, as he sacrifices himself. Knowing Reagan's circumstances, would you say she is a villain or the victim?
Wow. I think she's a victim, clearly. Okay, people can say she should never have messed with a Ouija board. I'm going to put my hands up and say I've messed with many Ouija boards from the ages of probably like 8 upwards. Like, I don't know a kid who hasn't, to be perfectly honest with you. So, I never got possessed, luckily. I didn't start vomiting up pea soup. But, it's just something that you
never
do.
crab walked down the stairs?
I have done that. Yeah, no, I've done that, obviously. But it's one of those things, like, yes, maybe she shouldn't have done that, but she's a child. She's going to do stuff she's told not to do. She's going to do stuff that isn't, seen as being respectful or whatever. She did not choose to be possessed. She did not choose to have that entity enter her and make her act the way that she did. Complete victim. Don't really have much else to say, because there's nothing you can really say other than, yeah, she's a victim of a very unfortunate circumstance.
Shannon?
definitely a victim. Like everything that M says, she shouldn't have touched the Ouija board, but she did, and kids like touch anything that they can find.
They do get curious, that's for sure. Curiosity is not necessarily villainous, it's just her being a child, just being a curious child. Also, I read about how the demon knew or sensed that she had psychic abilities and also healing abilities, so it was drawn to that, and it actually used that to try and inhabit her. So I found that interesting as well. But I definitely think that she's a victim, because she didn't ask for the demon to. She just wanted to talk to her imaginary friend, Captain Howdy. That's it. She didn't want to talk to a demon. She didn't want, to crab walk down the stairs. And well, maybe she did. I don't know. But I think she just wanted to talk to her imaginary friend.
I mean, I like to talk to my imaginary friend all the time, so it's perfectly acceptable behavior. I'm just having a look at some of the comments. Everybody's saying victim.
I think I'm alone on it. Never touched a Ouija. Well, I touched it once, and I actually had my own creepy experience, so I never touched it again.
I've never touched one. I'm too terrified to.
Oh, Jesus. And then there's me, like, conjuring Satan or something in my living room, just like, I don't know. Whoops.
Well, I think my friend ended up disclosing to me that her house was in fact haunted, so that didn't help that we were playing with the Ouija board, and also we had that as well. So I never touched it again.
I grew up in a haunted house, and that's where we used to do all the Ouija boards.
I lived in a couple haunted houses.
I loved it.
Yeah, I didn't mind it, but when the spirit is blaming stuff on us, then it's like, listen, lady.
Nope.
We're going to have to talk. All right, we're going to the next one. Now, this is one that M wanted us to talk about, and that is Miss Samara.
Yes.
You guys are going to laugh at me. So, every single time that I have watched this movie, I don't think I fully understood the premise of what she actually was. So when I actually took a deeper dive and actually read about her, I was like, okay, the premise is actually kind of cool. I just feel like the movie itself didn't execute it as well as I wanted them to.
That's fair.
But that's just me.
The Japanese version's apparently a lot better. So that's the original.
I have heard, so I might actually give that one a gander. This is a tragic tale about a girl misunderstood by a cruel, ignorant world. The woman who birthed Samara lived in constant fear, believing her daughter to be a reincarnation of a demonic spirit that resided within the waters. She was told by voices the only way to be free of this fear was to drown Samara to get rid of the evil spirits, but she was stopped, and Samara was taken away to be adopted by the Morgans. What begun as a picturesque family with a lovely new daughter turned into a nightmare as Samara developed supernatural powers. These powers caused gruesome images to be burned into her parents' minds whenever she was around. Given these powers progressing, she was taken to a hospital where a doctor was able to document her powers on actual film. This film became the video that people would watch, and death would find them in 7 days. Powers that not even she can control, but ended up succumbing to them. Would you say, knowing Samara's circumstances, is she a villain or a victim? Go for it, Em.
I think she's both. I think she was definitely a victim of child abuse and, being feared to the point that she was basically killed by being left in a well to die, for being an innocent, really. She didn't choose to have the powers that she had. She needed support, whereas she got treated just like an experiment and like something that is extremely feared. So in that sense, she's a victim. However, she then chooses to do what she does through the videotape to, I guess, seek some sort of revenge in a way. But knowing what she's doing, because she's not, yes, okay, she's a child, but it's not like she doesn't know what she's doing. And in that sense, being that way, killing all the people who watched the videotape and really disappearing and just completely leaving it to be and just making it look like some weird death is very villainous. And I think that the only way that I can describe her is troubled, to the point that she probably doesn't really know right from wrong, if I'm perfectly honest with you, just because of the circumstances of her actual life. I actually feel quite sorry for her in a way. Obviously, it's even sadder now when you think the actress has just died and the circumstances that happened under and everything. It kind of like touches me a little bit more because I'm like, it's just that child, and my heart goes out to her. I don't know, but yeah. That's me. I will shut up.
Shannon?
I think she's probably more of a victim. Like, I feel like she's sort of like similar to like the Carrie White. Like, she does not know what's happening to her. But I could also see her being the villain as well, like that 7-day curse and everything, but still. Like, I don't think that she, like, realizes, like, what's happening to her, like, all those evil powers. Similar to, like, a Carrie White, though. So, I don't know. I'm, like, in between, I guess.
That's fair.
So, based upon what I have read, apparently, I think that she knew that she was actually a sea demon. And she actually was... It's just rumored. They don't know if it actually was the case, but they're thinking that she actually used voices to talk to her mother to tell her to drown her so that she could be more powerful in the spirit realm. So I actually think she's more of a villain than she is a victim. Yes, she is a child. Maybe she didn't know like the actual power, like the intensity of her power. But I also think that as she was getting older, she knew what was happening to her. And I think she was, in fact, deliberately trying to devise a plan in how she could actually cause more harm and more havoc. So I think she's more so a villain than she is a victim.
Quite like that little
I told you I wanted to understand like more about her, so I took a little bit of a deep dive.
I like that. I like it. It definitely gives something extra to the character and the way that you look at her.
Yeah.
If that is true. I quite like that little theory there.
Yeah. So now we're gonna move on to... Oh, I love this one. Dorothy! Actually, I love Valentine. I love everything about it. And she is one character that I feel like you could be so many angles that you could look at her character.
Yep.
Dorothy was the girl in high school that was considered chubby, we're going to say that in quotations, and she got bullied by her classmates. She had unlikely friends who would befriend a girl like her, or that's what she thought. She grows up in a rich family, a father who spoils her, but I guess that just wasn't enough. She meets a guy named Campbell, and the fact that someone as handsome as him is giving her attention, she is drawn to it like a moth to a flame. Her high school friends are dying and disappearing, while Campbell grows distant from her. Her father remarries who she considers to be a mail-order bride, so of course, the attention is not solely on her anymore. Could it be that all of this rage from past misfortunes struck a major chord in Dorothy, causing her to snap? Or was she really framed? There's so many unanswered questions that Dorothy herself won't be able to answer because she was either the scapegoat or she was stopped. Knowing Dorothy's circumstances, would you say she is the villain or is she the victim? Yeah.
Okay. So I actually love this character. I love this movie. I love Jessica Capshaw. So all three of those things for me, perfect. I personally think she is the victim. I love the twist at the end where it's like, damn, was it her or has she been framed? And I personally think she was framed just because you see his nosebleed at the end.
Yeah.
If you didn't see that, it would be a damn, she was really flipping good at what she did. Like what a great manipulator. But personally, I think she was a victim. Yes, she is this spoiled rich kid. Yes, she's somebody that people typically wouldn't find attractive back then for whatever reason, even though she's stunning.
I think she's beautiful.
Yeah, same. She's really pretty. I'm just like, yes, you can look at that and think, well, maybe she's got some sort of, grudge on people. She doesn't want them to, have a good life now because she's kind of been pushed to one side. But for me, no, she's the victim 100%. And I love her character. I wanted her to survive, actually, the first time I watched it. It's like, you got to survive. But obviously she didn't.
Shannon?
I think that she's a victim as well, and I definitely think that the guy from Angel and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that he is for sure the villain. Like Em said, the nosebleed part at the end, but yeah.
You mean Mr. Jeremy Milton?
Yep, I definitely think that was him. Because, you never saw blood coming from her nose, right, Dorothy's?
Mm-mm. Nope.
So, yeah, definitely a victim, and the real killer was Jeremy or whatever.
So I'm going to throw a wrench into the blender.
No.
I don't know. For some reason, something tells me that maybe either they teamed up and he just decided to, blame it all on her at the end. Because remember in the beginning, they were making out and they both did seem a little troubled. So you never know. They might have kept together throughout the years. You never know.
Yeah.
Decided that they wanted revenge, or I think maybe simultaneously, maybe she killed a couple of them. She was obviously jealous of Paige, so I think maybe she killed Paige. And then also Lily. And then Campbell obviously was doing her dirty. So I think that maybe it was a little bit of both of them. So I think she could be a villain and a victim. Because she had an attitude problem.
She did. She was a bit of a bitch.
Yeah, she had some attitude going on there. And she definitely showed that she was still jealous of them. Because the one scene during the funeral, she was definitely dropping some envious vibes.
Yeah.
Money can't buy happiness. Bull crap, but still.
She tried, but, it wasn't working, I guess.
Nope.
But I still think she's a very complex character. I love that they leave the ending very ambiguous and just leaves it to interpretation, which I absolutely love because we don't need everything to be spelled out for us or cut and dry. Sometimes you need that mysterious ending, that cliffhanger. And I think they did a brilliant job.
Yep.
So on to our next woman scorned. We are going to go with Brenda. I hate her hair here. It looks like she got into a fight with the blow dryer, but I couldn't find anything good for her. Anyway, I do love her story though. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. At
least I found a cool picture here. I love her picture here.
Yeah.
But Brenda Bates, not to be mistaken as Norman Bates, although she is definitely psycho. She wasn't always psycho, though, you could say. It was forced upon her due to rage and grief. When she lost her fiancé, David Evans, she snapped. He died from a freak car accident that Brenda believed was by fault of Natalie and Michelle. So Brenda goes to the college that Natalie attends, becomes her friend, and then she hunts down Natalie's friends. These aren't just any typical deaths either. They are orchestrated as urban legends. Each one dies imitating a different urban legend, just like the death of her own fiancé, David. Some could say she has absolutely lost all sense of reality, and some could say the tragic loss caused a mental break. For someone to go as far as Brenda does to exact revenge for the death of her David, is it poetic or is it just psychotic? Knowing Brenda's circumstances, would you say she is a villain or is she a victim? Go for it.
So I think she is 1000% a villain. Yes, I get she lost her partner, and that's very sad. And people lose their partners every day in freak accidents. They don't then go out and hunt down people like she did. The fact that everything was so meticulously planned out and everything was, done with a specific agenda and a specific reason, that shows that she knows what she was doing and she didn't have any remorse for it. Therefore, I genuinely think she is 1000% a villain.
Shannon?
I definitely agree. 1,000,000% a villain. Sort of like similar to like a Mrs. Loomis. Like she saw her son dying, and then like a few weeks or whatever later, the camp counselors ended up killing. Similar to, I guess, Brenda. Like it must have been a couple of weeks or maybe like a few months or whatever after Brenda's boyfriend got killed, fiance got killed, and then revenge. So yeah, villain. Loved all the kills as well. They were creative.
They were.
Ways.
I loved the urban legend aspect of each death. I think that was a really cool spin on, because otherwise it could have just been her hunting these people down and just killing them. But instead, she uses her own boyfriend's death to poetically kill off these other people. Now, I think because of the fact that she killed people that didn't even have any involvement whatsoever, she's definitely a villain, because she could have just went after Natalie and then Michelle and then called it a day. But no, she had to make sure that she really cut deep. And I think she was enjoying herself 1,000,000%. And she also needs to use freaking conditioner.
But even her reveal, she's so psychotic, you know that she doesn't care, like she doesn't regret it.
Not one bit. And then the fact that they reveal at the end that she's actually not dead, they could have done so much with that. But I mean, it's cool that they just left pretty much her story there.
Yeah.
I think that was cool.
Hopefully she's back like for the remake or whatever that they're doing, like the continuation.
That would be very interesting to see her again. Hi, Nanette.
Like you never know.
Hey, Nanette. What remake are you talking about? They better not be remaking it.
Aren't they like doing like a continuation remake or?
I have heard something about it. Yes.
Yeah. So like maybe like they could have Rebecca Gayheart back as Brenda, or even like a different character, and like have her pulling in Angela from Sleepaway Camp, like having her character make it like look like plastic surgery when it's really Brenda from Urban Legend.
Yeah, they are. They are developing a reboot of it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
So
I cannot believe you had no clue about that, Carrie.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't see anything on it when I was looking it up.
As well, apparently. There's like a remake of The Faculty coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, she should have went to grief counseling. I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely would have been better than what she did. I don't think murder therapy is necessarily the best way to go.
Nope.
But I mean, who are we to say? Because we're normal, I guess.
Sort of, yeah, sort
Yeah.
of.
Kind of.
I wouldn't quite say normal.
We're normal-esque. All right, I put Amanda Young in here because I feel like she is definitely a fun character to talk about. She has her layers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Amanda Young is a very sad case, a lost soul walking the streets looking for her next fix. She was a junkie and addict just wasting her life away, until John Kramer took her in and gave her a second chance. The first victim in the gnarliest trap, and she survived. John Kramer took her in as if as a father figure, a demented, dynamic duo, if you will. She became his right-hand man, an accomplice that would assist in his twisted rehabilitation. Amanda looked up to John, but John also knew that she was a loose cannon. She would only listen for so long, and so he believed when the time was right, she would be tested again. He knew this time she would fail. Amanda was easily influenced, not having anything solid in her life. When John gave her the second chance, she already wasted it by constantly slipping up and accompanying John in his wanting to play God. Knowing Amanda's circumstances, would you say she is a villain or is she a victim?
Okay.
What do we think about Amanda?
So I'm going to start by saying I don't actually think that John Kramer is a villain. I actually, that's going to sound mental because he technically kills people, but he gives them the opportunity to get at, and he does it to people who kind of deserve to be taught a lesson. Not saying that the way he goes about it is right. So I don't think his intentions are necessarily bad, and therefore I can't say that she herself is a villain because she survived her trap very, very well, and I think doing that she had a new look on life. Obviously there is a bit of manipulation from John Kramer, which isn't the nicest quality in somebody. So he's obviously manipulated her to see things the way that he sees them, and to then therefore go ahead and help get all these people who have done wrong in some way, shape or form. I think she's a victim. I think that she's a very troubled victim. And I think that, you know, the manipulation there probably isn't the nicest thing for her to have gone through there, because she could have just gone and lived a semi-normal life had she wanted to. So that to me, I don't know, I don't see her as a villain at all, because I don't see Jigsaw or John Kramer as a villain. So there's that.
Shannon?
Villain. I think villain for sure. Like all the not paying attention to John breaking some of the rules. And also, if you think about this, she was with Cecil in like Saw 3 or whatever for the flashback when Jill lost the baby. So it's like, and she never told John, and it had to be on the written note that Mark Hoffman, I guess, if I remember correctly, left for her for Saw 3. So yeah, villain.
So for me, I feel like she's a villain and she's also a victim. I think she's a little bit of both, because she was given a second chance and I feel like she was grateful for it. And she also, I do believe that John Kramer is not necessarily a villain as well, because he does do it. The intent that he has, it's not to murder anyone. It's actually just to give them a new perspective on life. So with that being said, Amanda breaks those rules, because when you think about my girl Carrie, when she's in that angel trap, she cannot escape it. And that was because of Amanda. Amanda was literally standing in front of her, watching her die. And she did that shit on purpose. She did that to a couple of traps, actually. where they couldn't actually escape, and that was not John's doing. So I know that John knew about it, and that's why he tested her for the second time, and that's why she failed. So I do feel like she is a victim, but she is also a villain as well. I think she teeters both sides.
I love that this is the one person that every single one of us has said something completely different. I love that.
I have a feeling that she would be the one that would have different opinions on, because she's a very complex character, in my opinion.
Agree.
Because thinking about like how we first were introduced to her, she was a drug addict and she was not doing very good things to herself, and then she gets the second chance. She goes through a very traumatic thing, and just seeing her like evolve. John was trying, he was trying to rehabilitate her, but she had to do it herself, and she wasn't. She was still continuing her old behavior throughout the time that she was in the franchise. So I think she was playing both sides of the coin, so to speak.
Yep.
Chester's saying victim. Nettie says villain. See, there's gonna be so many different things that you could say about Amanda.
Yep.
That's why I love her.
Heck yeah.
So this one I added in because I thought it would just be fun to talk about her. We have her, and then we have one other character, and then this episode will be over, and we can have our final thoughts if anyone wants to talk about anything else afterwards. So I have Quinn.
Oh,
I actually really like her. But yeah. So we'll talk about her. Quinn Bailey. Not just sex positive, she gives off Major Tatum vibes with a twist of fatal attraction. Her whole family is kind of psychotic. It started with her older brother Richie, obsessed with the Stab franchise, wanting to make his own film. He goes entirely too far, partnering up with lemon-faced Amber to go on a murder spree. It ends with Sam turning Quinn's brother into Swiss cheese. Poor lad didn't get his ending, but this is where Quinn comes in. The rest of the family is in shambles when he is gone, so the family decides to go on their own murder spree. Father Wayne Bailey uses his detective skills to get closer to Sam, while Quinn and Ethan get closer to her friends. Quinn pulling a Roman and a Billy, faking her own death to keep herself off the radar. The other two set up the trap. When they have Sam right where they want her, they reveal their true identities, revealing Quinn is not really dead. Avenging her brother's death, is it a wish forced upon her, or is it her family's? We'll never know because she got a brick to the face and a bullet in her head. Knowing Quinn's circumstances, would you say she's a villain or a victim? What do we think?
So she's actually my least favorite Ghostface. I really cannot stand this character at all. However, I'm going to look at it with an open mind and not just go slating her. I think there's a lot of background to this character. So you've got her brother's revenge, which she's clearly going after. You've also got this fact that her family is very toxic and they're basically just a whole packet of nuts. Like, they're just not right. I think part of what her and Ethan do is they try to please their father. And I think that in that sense, she would be a victim of neglect. However, I personally would say she is 100% a villain because she enjoys what she's doing. She enjoys the fake out. She enjoys revealing herself to Sam and Tara, like, hey, bestie. And it's like, okay, you are having too much fun. She loves Stu Mocker, so clearly she sees him as an idol and she wants to do some sort of crazy crap like he's doing. she even took it to the point where she stabbed Mindy she's stalking them basically to make sure that there's not many people in the finale. To me, she's 100% a villain. And I think, she could have possibly gone a different way had she not had the influence from her family as well. And that whole impact of Stab as she's growing up, because her brother's obsession was quite clearly there. Then you've got her dad and her brother who are just following in his footsteps. You kind of, she could have gone a different way, but she didn't. So she's a villain.
Shannon?
Villain. Like, she could have gone to some kind of therapy to, like, talk about her brother, maybe even talk about the family as well. Like, we know that the dad was a cop. And, yeah.
Well, I definitely do view her as a villain. I do feel like, though, she wouldn't have done this on her own. I feel like she basically is doing wherever you go, I will follow type of thing, knowing that it's her family. The fact that her brother was murdered in a brutal way, let's be honest, it was pretty damn brutal. Something kind of snapped in her, and the fact that her family was also like, let's do this, let's avenge, one of our family members. She was along for the ride. I don't think she questioned it one bit, and she was very easy to snap from one end to the other because she was all bestie with Tara. But then when it came to the psychotic aspect, she snapped right into character both ways. So I definitely think that she is a villain because she did in fact enjoy what she was doing, but I don't think she would have done it by herself.
No.
Oh, agreed with that.
But it doesn't make her any less guilty, though.
No.
That is for sure. Okay, villain and victim. I think she is both. Here's why. She's crazy, but I believe that her family has been brainwashed. I think she was brainwashed because of her family.
Same.
Villain for sure. Loved Quinn, but because she was a villain. I actually love... So, Quinn is unfortunately at the bottom of my Ghostface rankings, but if we're talking about Scream 6 alone, she's my top. Like, Wayne is freaking way over dramatic. Like, he was trying to be Mrs. Loomis on crack. It wasn't working. And Ethan, don't get me started with that boy. I want to smack him so bad. I can't stand him. I think he's a pansy-ass mama's boy. But anyway, yeah, I can't stand him in the very least. But, yeah. That's how we feel about that. And also, hello, Acres. Stacy.
Hey, Stacy.
So now we have one more character. I wonder who that could be.
Gee, I wonder.
Of course, it is Miss Esther. Technically, her name is Lena Klammer, but I just put Esther Coleman because that's the name that she portrayed herself like the majority of the time. Anywho'sin. Esther is a Looney Tune topped with crazy sauce. She is not who you think she is. A grieving mother just wanted a child to give love to, the way that she would have loved the child that she lost during childbirth. Vulnerable and looking to find a way to fill that void, Kate and John sought after a child at an orphanage. When they connect instantly with Esther, they believe she will be a perfect addition to their family. Esther has ulterior motives, of course, much darker than imaginable. As strange things happen, the puzzle pieces begin to piece themselves together. As Kate catches on to Esther's antics, the truth is revealed. Esther is not who she says she is. She is actually Lena Klammer, who escaped from a mental institution posing as a child. She is actually a psychotic serial killer who tries to seduce the husbands, and if rejected, she preys on the families. Lena is not a sad story. She is a monster in the making. Lena is a silent hunter who hunts on the vulnerable, relishing every moment of the chaos she creates. Knowing the circumstances, would you say Esther Lena is a villain or is she a victim?
So I actually think she's a bit of both. Now, I know that's kind of crazy to say. However, the reason I say that is because she has clearly been let down by the system. So she's got this rare disorder, this genetic disorder, which makes her look younger than what she is. She's in a mental institution and escaped. So therefore, there's not enough support there for her. There's not enough an eye on her, which could help her rehabilitate and obviously never be completely mentally sane, but could help her in ways that they could keep her under their watch. So in that way, she is definitely a victim because it's that side of the system that's just even like down to the children's home. They obviously haven't done full checks. So therefore, again, she's allowed in this situation that she should never have been allowed in. However, she is also a victim, a villain, because she is just batshit freaking crazy and goes all in on this family, tries to seduce the dad, just goes completely off the rails and is very calculated and manipulative. She knows exactly what she's doing, and yet she doesn't even try to stop. So therefore, in my eyes, in that respect, she would be a villain. So I see her as both, really.
Shannon?
I think both, just because we don't know like the whole backstory. Like we said off, like backstage or whatever, there's that prequel or whatever. So it's like, did her parents, like Esther, like her actual parents, did they do something to cause her to be crazy? Like, was her actual, like, the birth mom of Esther or whatever, like, Samara Morgan's mom or something? Like, we don't really know exactly, I guess, like, the backstory on Esther. So, like, that's why I'm, like, both, like, in the middle kind of, like, villain for doing everything that she did. Or is there something bigger that's mentioned in First Kill, like the prequel? So, yeah.
So, with me, I don't know, like, as I was watching this, I was just trying to find, like, any ounce of empathy towards her, and it was extremely difficult because of the fact that she gets really close to the deaf girl, Madison, I think her name was. Max. Her name was Max. She gets really close with her and basically uses her like she's a puppet to do these crazy, insane things just to keep her secret a secret. And the fact that she's using this poor girl and also threatening these children, making them feel unsafe. I have no empathy towards her whatsoever. Yes, the system may have failed her, but she's in her 30s. I feel like she should know some kind of. I feel like she should have some kind of thought process, or I don't know. Like, for some reason, just seeing like how she treated everyone and how she didn't have any remorse whatsoever in anything that she did. Like, she was enjoying and relishing every single moment that she was hurting children while she was a grown-ass adult. Like, I get that she probably has the mentality that she is a child in a sense, but she also knows that she's an adult, because she even says it to Kate. She's like, stop talking to me like I'm a child. She knows that she's an adult, but yet she acts like a child because she knows mentally what she's doing. And it's all a plan for her. It's all a dark, demented, twisted plan for her. And she's enjoying killing people. So I think she's a straight up villain.
That's fair, to be honest. That's fair.
So that is our last character. Do we have any afterthoughts? Do we feel like we missed anything? Anyone?
I mean, there's always people you can put on the list. Like these lists could go on forever. But I think we've covered some really good females in the horror genre who, I feel like sometimes the female characters do go unnoticed slightly when it comes to certain things. And I love talking about them. So I've really enjoyed actually diving into a lot of them. I think that what's good about it is that everybody can see things completely differently and have a completely different outlook on it. And I enjoy that because it makes the conversation a lot more interesting and deep. And you know that I like to ramble and have a good conversation. So there we go.
Yeah, I think that this was a really fun discussion because we end up seeing different angles from how everyone feels about these certain characters. And I think I ended up looking at some of these characters differently because of the input that you both had towards those characters.
Definitely.
What about you, Shannon?
I agree.
So, as we are wrapping up, because I'm sorry I took you guys for almost 2 hours, do you have anything going on your channels that you want to talk about?
You go ahead.
You want to go first?
Okay, I'm working on a couple of things. Obviously, my podcast is due out this week. I'm working on it. So that will be coming out very soon. Do you like scary podcasts? I've also got quite a few videos planned for my channel, which will be out shortly. But it is my 2-year anniversary on the 25th of July. So I'm going to have a few things out before then. Fingers crossed. I am very busy with work this week, but I'm still going to be trying my hardest. But no dates and nothing concrete yet.
Shannon?
Heck yeah. I got a bunch of movie commentaries coming, like Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm still doing Indiana Jones and maybe like a few like horror ones or movies that like Toy Story or whatever, like ones that have just came out to like kind of prepare for them. And obviously we have the watch party is like what? Dragonfly and Magic. And then I'm going to be doing the Evil Dead movies and Carrie's going to be doing the Insidious after Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, we still have 3 Texas Chainsaw Massacres to get through, and then we are off to Evil Dead and Insidious.
Yep. And the Blob one day on Dom's channel. Yep.
Yeah. And also I will be doing more episodes for this series, so if you ladies do want to come back for any of those, I think that this was absolutely fun, so I would love to have you back.
I'd love to come back for some more.
Count me in.
Yay! So if we don't have anything else, I think we are going to call it a night. So we're going to say good night, everyone.
Bye. Good night, everyone.